Hey everybody, welcome back. We are going to do a quick start walkthrough of Docker today. I know we said in the blog we aren't going to go too deep into Docker, but I wanted to at least kind of walk through an example with you all to show you what we can do with it. And let's see, if we don't quite remember, we actually have played with this already in the form of Cloud Build and Cloud Run. It's kind of abstracted out for us thus far, but basically there's a container registry up on Google that we can use. It's that gcr.io address that you've seen so far. We are basically building Docker images and we are pushing them up there and allowing them to be built. You can use the standard Docker container registry if you would like, but we're going to stick inside of Google here, at least for the purposes of our demos. So what I've got here is a nice fresh project. I have the APIs enabled that I need, and those are going to be the Cloud Build and Artifact Registry APIs. I've got one of these quick start guides here that we are going to be walking through. And I have a nice fresh project up and ready to go. And what we need to do here is let's go into a Docker folder. So I created this folder. Shouldn't be anything inside of it. Yep. So let's call this, I'm just kind of reading through the lab here on the side. We need a file called quickstart.sh. So we're making a bash script. Echo hello world. The time is $date. You are all CIS680 students, probably. And nobody can probably see this because it is colored in the default fashion. So there we go. Hello world. If I were to say bash quick start, look at that. We have some stuff coming out. Now, let's create a Docker file. Or say vim docker fill. No, vim docker file. Colors desert. So this is basically going to be our configuration script for the image that we are building. From Alpine, so I'm just going by the guide here, copy quickstart.sh to the root cmd / quickstart.sh. So basically what we're doing here is we are importing Alpine. We are copying our folder, or sorry, our bash script, and our command is simply running it like a binary file. Okay, so / quickstart.sh. And what we have to do is chmod +x quickstart. And this command here, the chmod, we're changing its mode. Basically, we're making it executable. So as before, we had to do bash quickstart-sh. What we can do now is / quickstart.sh. That didn't work before, and I probably should have showed you that. So let me show you it super quickly, because I like Linux stuff. I am now removing executable privileges. So here, +x, add the x, which is execute, -x, let's get rid of that. If I try to / again, permission denied. chmod +x, / executes. Perfect. So we have a bare bones basic script. And you could do whatever you want here, right? You could do Java, Ruby, C++, Python. You just have to configure your Docker file appropriately to run those commands. And that's going to be basically tied in with what you're importing in that capital CMD thing that we've got going on. So now what we have to do is we're going to create a Docker repository for ourselves. So this is going to go up into gcr.io. It's going to be tied to our project ID. And we are going to get that up and running. So gcloud, let's clear this out because it's a long one. Gcloud artifacts, repositories, create, quick start, Docker repo. Let's add on 680 just so that we know it's ours. Repository format equals Docker. So this is Docker. Again, I've mentioned this before. Docker is not the only container system we can use. But we are specifying here that we're going to do this. Location equals, sure, we'll use central this time because Midwest, we're kind of in between central and east, right? Description equals Docker repo for 680 demo. tweaking things slightly. So this is going to go ahead and spin up a repository for us. And what we can do next is check to make sure that it was built properly. We can do the command that's up next is gcloud artifacts repositories list, which that didn't take nearly as long as I thought it would. So gcloud artifacts repositories list. We should see any repositories that we have in all locations under the current project. So here we see that information here. And we can go to our Docker artifact registry. Should be up here. Or am I thinking container? Nope, it's artifact. So artifact registry. These are priced as well. Again, it's a cloud product. We have a cloud-based service. Just for fun, so I'm deviating here slightly. That's my want as a professor. I can deviate as I want. So here we have Docker as default. There's also Maven, NPM, PyPy, which is like the Python module repository. If you've ever done like a pip install, that you're getting that from PyPy. Ooh, interesting. We can also do apt. I assume that's aptitude for the Ubuntu application repos, but we're going to use Docker here. So we have our Docker file, right? So let's ls. So we see our Docker file, our quick start. Now we need to submit this project to Cloud Build to be built, to be put up for others to use. So we need our project ID, which we already have, but just for funsies, let's do it again. gcloud config, get value, project. So we see our project ID right here. You see it in yellow there. We can also pull it down from our project list. Let's go ahead and copy this. And again, you just have to highlight. I love that about Cloud Shell, and it auto copies. So gcloud builds submit. So we're working with Cloud Build now. Tag US Central 1 docker.pkg.dev / our project ID / quick start docker repo. And this is where I have to remember that I added 680 because we created this earlier. We see that right here. This is what we're building. And we're going to call this quick start image 680 tag 1. Let's say first tag. See if it likes that capital or not. So I deviated slightly from the instructions, so I added on 680 to the repo, to the build name, and I changed tag 1 to be first tag. So basically we should be able to go up into this repository. We'll see it in Cloud Build as well, but we should see these tags and be able to play with them. Okay, so everything looks good. We see a success, obviously if you had a wider screen or smaller font, this would all be in one line. We actually see where it's located too. So we actually have a zipped archive, a .tgz file, up in a cloud storage bucket. So that's our gs:/. So you could pull that if you wanted later on. So let's make that a little bit smaller. Let's go up into Cloud Build. And here we see a build. How neat. This is exactly what we see in the terminal. All right, so we have that. Yeah, okay. Life is good. Now, we need to set up a build config file to basically allow Cloud Build to run and build build and run the Docker image. Sorry, build the Docker image, Cloud Run is going to run the Docker image. So we have, just to kind of contextualize where we're at, and I just want to specify here, we see that it was built in Cloud Build. We have to create a separate script for Cloud Build to understand how to do things. In the artifact registry, this is our Docker repo, so we could pull this down later on. And we see our image here in our build here. So you could basically do a Docker pull, I think, if you wanted to grab that. So we're going to submit this to Cloud Build next. Interestingly, I thought there would be a execute as well, but we're just deploying here, which is fine. This needs to be a short video anyway. So we have pushed up to the Docker registry. Now let's push it up to Cloud Build, which is going to be that gcr.io. All right, so make sure I'm in the right spot here. We're going to stay in the same directory, and now we're going to create a YAML file. So vim cloudbuild.yaml, colors, desert. This is a little bit different. So again, YAML will be configured differently than our Docker script. So steps, so name, steps, name, gcr.io/cloud builders, Docker, sure. Follow their guide here. Args, build, -t. So basically there's, if you were to run a gcloud build command, we're basically separating it up into an array here. us-central1-docker.pkg.dev/project ID/quick start docker repo -680 / quick, oh, I forgot what I named this already. Quick start image 680 first tag in the current directory. Okay. I'm gonna have to double check this. So basically we are getting the arguments. You actually see the Docker image there. Oh no, did I lose focus here? Crap. I'm gonna have to restart Cloud Shell. I don't know why Vim does this to me in Cloud Shell. Sometimes if I click off screen and then I come back, it's just like frozen. But I think if I open the editor and then I go back to the terminal, I can maybe get focus here. Okay, so with that, let's go back. Can I escape? Nope, gotta redo it. Close shell. Activate shell. Echo project ID. Don't have that yet. We want to go into Docker, ls, vim cloudbuild.yaml. Can we recover? Sometimes. Hey, it worked. Sometimes Vim does good at recovery. So we have our steps. Now we need our images. Too many. Not sure where all these lines are coming from. Images. us-central1 docker.pkg.dev/project ID quick start docker repo -680 quick start image 680 first tag. Okay. See how badly I botched up the spacing in there. Okay, so we want to check our repo here too. Quick start image -680. Okay, that's what I wanted to see. Let's see if this works. gcloud builds submit config cloudbuild.yaml. So we are now pushing this config file up to Cloud Build. It's going to talk to that Docker artifact that we pushed earlier, that .tgz file, pull it out of the cloud storage bucket, and then try to build it. So we're actually seeing here, delightful, we now have something up on Cloud Build as well. So we have 2 images up there. If we go to Cloud Build now, we actually see a second one, and this happened here. And there's our TGZ file again. What is the difference? Well, we have done 2 separate things. So we see 2 cloud builds. That's kind of a misnomer here. We did use cloud build to build the first repo. But basically what's going on is that we now have an image in two places. So we have a Docker repository, or sorry, we have a Docker registry, which we could pull and just use something as like a raw Docker container. We also have something up in Cloud Build, which is what we just did, and we can use Cloud Run now to go ahead and execute that. So we have everything we need. So we could say, go to Cloud Build. We're in storage right now, so let's go to Cloud Build. Let's click on this most recent one, Build Artifacts. Here is our particular Docker image. Here is a log file of what happened. And we even see kind of a nice, long, detailed log of what actually happened. Okay. And the next step is to simply clean up. Okay, so hopefully that was useful for you all. Basically what we have done is we have pushed things up to the Docker registry internally. We have also pushed a build up to Cloud Build to the gcr.io registry. Take that and again, apply your own services, apply your own features to that, and then you have yourself a lovely containerized application. Anyway, I will see you all next time. Hope this was helpful, as always. Bye, everybody.